Hello and welcome. In this video, we will discover 7 things people waste their youth on and regret later in life. Our youth is seen as the most critical times of our lives. It is the bridge that connects our childhood and adulthood. We are always told that what we do in this period will go on to make or break how our future turns out. The first time you get a taste of the real world is during your youth. You have a whole new set of responsibilities that you didn't have to think about before. It's no surprise that this can also be one of the most stressful periods of your life. Due to the number of expectations we have on us, it's easy to do things that we may come to regret in the future. Here are a few mistakes that you should watch out for to get through this stage of your life. But just before, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to download your free book to change your life by clicking on the link in the description below the video. 1. Not maintaining a good balance between work and fun. When we are in our younger years, it can feel like this is our last opportunity to truly have fun. Adulthood is always shown as this dull, boring stage of life when life gets serious. We take this as a chance to cram as much fun as possible into our youth. On the other hand, it's also the time when we start to work towards our future goals. This responsibility might make you want to give up on fun altogether and completely focus on work. However, one of the most important things you can do is learn how to balance work and fun. If you lean too much towards either side of the spectrum, you're probably overdoing it. Especially in today's world when college loans are a huge burden, it can be easy to overwork yourself to the point that life becomes monotonous. But you must always keep in mind that burnout is a serious issue. It can make you lose your passion and drive for the future. Make it a point to keep a track of how much time you spend on either. If you start feeling too stressed and worn out, make some plans for a fun night out. Alternatively, don't spend all your time having fun or you'll regret wasting your youth. You need to remember that both of these are crucial to have. Recognizing how critical this factor is an important lesson that will stay with you for the rest of your life. 2. Overplanning or not planning enough. This is a question that I think all of us have been asked at some point. What's your life plan? Unfortunately, it can be hard to come up with a plan for the rest of your life after having no proper experience in the real world. Even though we're expected to have a goal in life from the minute we step out of high school, it's not easy. Coming up with a life plan is complicated and it takes time and experience to determine what your priorities are in life. It's highly unlikely that you're going to be able to predict every curveball that life throws at you. That's why it's important to learn how to adapt and change yourself. Make it a point to continuously reevaluate your goals to see if they match up with your dreams and aspirations. However, this coin has a flip side. It is crucial to map out a general plan for the next 10 years or so. Although you might not be able to stick to this plan completely, it helps to know how far along the path you are. Making this will also allow you to do all the research required. You must also remember to use your experiences to influence your plans. This can help you turn an unfortunate circumstance into a valuable, life-changing experience. Attaining a balance between these two will prepare you to maneuver around any obstacles that will come ahead. 3. Being scared of wandering out of your comfort zone. Curiosity killed the cat is a phrase that I'm sure you've heard at one point or another in your life. Whatever the context you heard it in, it is clear that the general message of this phrase is that taking risks isn't good. However, have you heard the rest of this idiom? The full version goes, "Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back." Those 4 words change the entire meaning of the idiom. It goes from being a cautionary tale to a phrase that encourages curiosity. Your youth is a time for you to discover new things and grow from them. Taking risks can help you learn what your passion is. It could be something you never realized you had an interest in. For example, say you've dreamt of becoming an artist. This field requires a lot of dedication to get into. Not to mention, there's not as much financial stability. In this case, it is advisable to do a course in another field so you have a backup plan. Not only can this help give you more stability, but also it has the added benefit of expanding your future opportunities. Even if you don't end up going into this alternative field, you've still gained a lot of exposure that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. It's always useful to know that you have a backup plan. Although you can still experiment with careers later on in life, it's far tougher to do. After you reach a certain point, you have a lot of responsibilities to take care of. These could be to your family or to your loved ones. Use this time to take every opportunity that comes your way. Each and every experience you have will help you grow as a person. But it is not possible to learn more if you refuse to get out of your comfort zone. 4. Not learning how to use money wisely. Money is one of those aspects of life that is constantly present but not always noticeable. If you've grown up without a lot of it, then it's always at the back of your mind. But if you've grown up relatively wealthy, you may not have thought about it much. Because money is such a big aspect of our lives, one of the most quintessential lessons you can learn is how to use it wisely. This is something that takes research and time to learn, and it is best to start in your youth. It can be easy to get caught up in your first taste of freedom. Money tends to be an afterthought. Saving money and investing it to build your resources for the future can seem like something that you should do once you become an adult. Figuring out these things can take a lot of time and experience. You can never learn enough about how to properly handle money. If you start small and work your way up, then by the time you finally settle down, you'll know enough to avoid making silly mistakes. 5. Failing to savor the present due to worries about the future. What youth deemed crystal, age finds out was due, is a quote by Robert Browning that can give you a new perspective on growing up. Fantasizing about what we don't know can be very easy. I'm sure a lot of us idolize adulthood to some extent. Once you finally leave the comforts of your home, it's easy to get caught up in how hectic it is. We grow up so eager to reach the finish line that most of us don't realize that this isn't a race, it's a journey. Take the time to enjoy being young. It might seem like something that doesn't make much sense, but you're never going to come back to this time. In another decade, your life might be completely different from what it is now. You don't want to regret ignoring the present just because you're too eager to reach the future. Think about your childhood. What do you remember? When you look back, you're probably only going to remember the stuff that impacted you in some way. If you always have your mind on the goal and nothing else, it can be easy to let these experiences slip through the cracks. 6. Making career choices without doing enough research. The school doesn't prepare us for life. There is a lot of importance placed on exam taking, and although these can help to measure how much theoretical knowledge you have, you're probably not going to need most of the stuff that you have learned. Which skills you need to succeed is largely dependent on which career you want to go into. Not getting good grades in school doesn't mean much, but we don't realize this when we're in school. We get into the habit of expecting nothing less than perfection because failing is seen as bad. When you're looking at your future career, it's common to look at your best subjects in school and start branching out from there, but does failing a subject mean you're bad at it? Consider being a surgeon, for example. You can be very knowledgeable about human anatomy, but if you detest working under pressure, then the career is not for you. You can study all you want, but being calm under pressure is a critical part of the job that you can't overlook. You're not going to be able to understand all the aspects of a career at a glance. Take the time to look at the finer details that you might have overlooked at first. A question you could ask yourself is, what are the 5 most important things that I want to get out of this career? Making a list can help you finalize what you're looking for. Your youth is the best time for you to make these choices. This is because you have enough time to do as much research as possible. Be sure to take as much time as you need at this step. The internet is a great place to get information from. Many people would be happy to help you out. One piece of advice that you can try asking people who have experience in a particular career is why they chose that specific career. Listening to the words of someone who's been on a similar journey as you can help you finalize your decision. 7. Forgetting to keep your health and well-being in mind. When you're wrong, it can certainly feel like your health isn't a priority, but a little care goes a long way. There are certain alterations you can make to your diet that will change the way you eat. Making small changes to your diet might not seem like such a big deal at first. However, putting in some effort can positively impact how you think about your health. This is a difficult task to do as it seems like extra work for no reason, but your future self will be grateful for these changes. It doesn't need to be anything huge. Start small. Maybe you love having junk food because it's easy to get, cheap, and tasty. When you're eating it, you might not be thinking about how it can affect your health. You could be eating way too much without even realizing it. Unhealthy food is fine once in a while, but if you eat too much, it will be detrimental to your health. So, how do you change this? To begin with, you don't need to immediately stop all fast food consumption. Instead, try keeping track of how many times you've ordered takeout. Now that you know this, it'll be easy to limit yourself accordingly. Just one small change and you've already had a hugely positive effect on your system. It's not just physical well-being. Mental health also often gets overlooked. Your youth can be one of the most stressful times of your life, especially if you're not sure what you want to do. As an added pressure, we also get told that we shouldn't be having any mental health issues this early in life, so we tend to ignore any issues that we're facing. Get in the habit of giving yourself a mental health break every once in a while. You can do this however you want: meditation, going for a hike, or any other way that works for you. Honestly, you won't know what works best for you until you start, and the quicker you start, the more you'll know. At the end of the day, make sure that you use your youth to find what you're passionate about. Try to figure out what your goals, your dreams, and your future aspirations are. Take this time to explore whatever you want. One of the biggest regrets you can have about your youth is that you didn't make proper use of it. Your youth is the time where you develop your sense of self, so be sure that you're making good use of it. Every one of us has a lot of potential, we just need to figure out how to use it. I'd like to leave you with a quote from Orison Swett Martin that beautifully frames this sentiment. Every youth owes it to himself and to the world to make the most possible out of the stuff that is in him. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, and especially subscribe to the channel. You're also free to receive the new book, 7 Secrets to Change Your Life Now, by clicking on the link in the description below the video.